Welcome to the Happy, Healthy Life Podcast with your hosts, Rob and Randy, who reveal the truth, the lies, and confusion about health so that you are no longer the victim to mainstream medical dogma and you are the hero to your own happy, healthy story.
Hey there, welcome back to the Happy, Healthy Life Podcast with your hosts, Rob and
Randy.
And we are
the Happy, Healthy guys. What is happening, everybody?
Today, you're going to love this episode. It is our holiday episode, continuation of last week's holiday episode. This week, we're going to be talking to you about how to protect your digestive system, how to protect your gut through the holidays with all the craziness that's going to ensue, what kind of food should be eating, what kind of foods are most healing, what kind of fiber you should or should not be eating, whether it's for Thanksgiving or going into Christmas, the holiday parties, how to be able to have a rockin', happy, healthy metabolism through the holidays so you don't end up on New Year's going, you know what, I got to first lose the 15 pounds that I gained in November and December. And then we're going to actually be back at baseline. And then I'll actually start losing some weight, which is pretty typical.
If you are still in that cycle every year, starting around Halloween, continuing to Thanksgiving, into Christmas, and then New Year's, and feel like you're having to undo 3 months of damage, you have got to break that cycle. I am glad I'm not in that cycle anymore, because even I used to be in that cycle where it's just like, this is just how it's going to be. You're going to be with family, you're going to be with friends, you're going to be out more, you're probably going to have some alcohol, you're going to make bad decisions with your food. You're really just going to kind of give up on life for 3 months. And I'm so glad I am not in that cycle, because I think about how many years going into the holidays, how just kind of giving up a fourth essentially of my life every year just to destroy it. And I'm just not that guy anymore. And you know what? I love the holidays even more now, Dr. Rob, because I like going into the holidays with a strategy, with a plan, setting the tone, being my authentic self, leading friends and family. And people already know when I show up how it's going to be. And I love that, because I've been able to now pull more people over to the happy, healthy side than them pulling me over to the dark side. So if you're that person still going into the holidays without a plan and just giving up and acting like the rules of health don't matter, this is the year to break it. What do you think, Dr. Rob?
I love that. I can remember where I would be, whether it was probably sometime in October and November, and how excited I would be to get to the end of the year. And I would be excited because I'd be like, all right, finally, we've gotten through this, and now I can start my New Year's resolution. So I'd be looking forward to December the 31st.
Totally.
Number one, because December the 31st would be that day. Actually, it was really January the 1st, because nobody really starts a New Year's resolution until January the 2nd.
And then January 5th.
Yeah. And so whichever day, but you picked a day, right?
Yeah.
Whatever was the Monday after the 1st.
Yeah.
And I'd go, okay, so the day before that day, I'm going to eat whatever it is that I want, or probably the whole entire week before, which you do end up gaining. You know, I would end up gaining 5-10 pounds during that time. I'd be so excited to start that New Year's resolution. And I can't tell you how many times in my journal that I had written my goals every year. If anybody knows me, you know how intentional I am about goals. And I've been setting goals every December. And I do look forward to that every year, setting goals and having a vision for what I want the next year to look like every December. But every year, and that vision was 160 pounds. And it was like that for probably, 15 years.
Yeah.
And I could never, I could get to maybe 170, 175 pounds for me, which is way too heavy for me. And then as soon as it was that weight loss story, right? It's you're highly motivated. It's New Year's, and then you start something and you get a little bit of results, and then it gets hard, or something happens and you get derailed and you stop doing whatever that new trendy plan was, or that trendy program was, or the crazy exercise that you were doing.
Yep.
And then you end up gaining the weight back, or you start something and then you get stuck, and then you get frustrated, and then you get pissed off at yourself, and then there's shame and guilt that's associated with that. And then compared to all the other people that had started something on January the 1st, and they're doing great, they're all posting all their photos and everything on social media about how wonderful life is. And that person who was 300 pounds are now 140 pounds, and they're ripped, and they've got now the beautiful relationship. They've got the brand new Ferrari. And meanwhile,
We got to get you off social media.
I'm like, man, my life sucks. So I
Right.
say that to say this is that, yeah, it's really great when you do have a healthy and a healed metabolism.
Yeah.
And that right there is the key. And that's the secret that nobody had taught me before. I didn't understand how that worked. And then once figuring that out and then being able to be at 160 pounds and with a healthy metabolism and not having to worry or stress out during the holidays. Like you said, you're going into the holidays already at that weight and never having to worry about that. Again, it seems, gosh, it's been now 14, 15 years since that was the case, and life is way more fun now. And so, yeah, life
broke the pattern.
Break the pattern. You've got that freedom, and so that is no longer in my journal to get to that 160 pounds, which is great because I can focus on other things now. So
I even remember, when I finally was like going to break this pattern, I remember my grandmother would make this cake, especially for me. It was my favorite cake. And I remember the very first year during the holidays, I was like, I'm not eating that. And I remember how hurtful
I was going to say
it was. But once I was able to, talk to her and explain it to her, it made sense to her. And so you have those initial hard conversations, or you're no longer going to eat that casserole from, Aunt Betty. But I'm telling you, the best thing you can do is actually show up and bring amazing, healthy food too. So I would encourage you guys, make your favorite happy, healthy recipe, bring that to Thanksgiving. I know I am doing that. So let's dive into that because we're really approaching this from a little bit different perspective. And it's not that different, but looking at it from a gut health perspective and why that is so important. We obviously, just launched a gut health program with Happy Healthy, but everything that we launch and do is all centered around metabolic health, which goes back to the health of your metabolism.
Yeah. So during the holidays, what are some foods that we should be eating in order to make sure that we have a healthier gut or promoting gut health as we go into the holidays?
Yeah, so I will take a page out of Dr. Salisbury's page. You know Dr. Salisbury, Dr.
Salisbury steak.
Everybody knows the Salisbury
that was Wednesday
steak.
in school.
Yeah, Wednesday. It had just the meat all kind of packed together in a tight little form.
That jelly like gravy stuff that was on it. I don't even know what that was.
I don't know. It wasn't real food, more than likely.
What
But
did they use to make the potatoes? I'm curious about that.
I don't even want to know.
I don't even know. Yes,
but
I remember that guy.
But everybody knows the Salisbury steak, but not everybody knows that was actually named after Dr. Salisbury. So Dr. Salisbury was a doctor back in I think the mid 1800s, and he was known for helping people heal their gastrointestinal tract. People coming to him with irritable bowel syndrome, probably before that was even diagnosed, right? Diverticulitis, Crohn's, all of these bowel issues, constant, either diarrhea or, constipation. And the way he helped heal them was he put them on a all meat diet. So he would get them all, anything and everything. And the Salisbury steak, as you remember kind of in school, probably not the same one he was serving, but it was just meat that was really lean and packed together. That way, that was the easiest food you could possibly digest. So what he found was that when you have clean meat like that, it will completely digest in your small intestine, and none of that food gets to your colon undigested, which is what you want. Most of your food should be digested before getting to your colon. If you're getting a lot of undigested food into your colon, you're causing lots of endotoxin, lots of gastrointestinal stress. So the Salisbury steak was developed by him. So to answer the question, you want to focus on protein. Now, granted, probably the protein of choice is going to be turkey, not my favorite. As you probably know, we're big on ruminant animals. So things like beef and lamb and bison and deer and elk. So you may want to bring some of that, but that is going to be the biggest bang for your buck, because remember, ruminant animals, multi-chambered stomach animals that eat grass, are going to have the most nutrient density in that food. They're going to have the polyphenols from the plants. They're going to biohydrogenate the plant oils and make them into stearic acid, which is heart healthy and fuel for the metabolism. So focus on meat no matter what you do. And the meat will also create satiety, so you're going to be less hungry to want to keep eating all the other crap that may be available to you, speaking namely of all the processed foods, the sugary desserts made in seed oil.
How about then, as far as gut health goes during the holidays, what is, what do you think about one of the things that we talk about is even like fermented vegetables,
Mm.
right? In order to be able to make sure that you do have a healthy gut. So you could, instead of eating like a salad, for example, if you're going to bring veggies, bring some fermented veggies with you.
Yeah, well, I love actually because I don't eat a lot of veggies, as
Yeah.
you know, but I do like fermented cabbage.
Yeah.
So
Same.
sauerkraut, let the fermentation break down a lot of the anti-nutrients, increase the enzymes, the probiotics, which are gut healthy. Way bigger fan of eating fermented food than taking probiotics, not the same thing. So cabbage that's been fermented, kimchi, which is more of a little of a spicier side, more of a, what's that, like a Japanese or Korean style cabbage. Beet kvass is great. Kombucha is nice and fermented. Pickles in the brine. So get the pickles in the free or in the refrigerator section, not the ones in vinegar. They're going to also be a superfood that are fermented. You can even drink that brine, good for the gut. What's some other raw fermented foods? Kefir.
I was just going to say kefir. That's, yeah.
My favorite. How could I forget? I know. Do you like kefir? Because I
I do.
love kefir.
I will. I used to only be able to drink the kefir. This is years ago.
Okay.
That was the sweetened one in the refrigerated section of the Whole Foods, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm drinking kefir.
Yep.
Well, I was also drinking kefir that was like loaded with all kinds of sugar in it.
Yeah.
Don't pick that one.
Make your own. If you want sweet kefir, it's okay. Use honey or maple syrup to sweeten it. You're still going to get the benefits. Don't be scared of natural sugar. Be scared of all the processed sugar,
Yeah.
which is almost all the things that you buy, unfortunately. So yeah, fermented
Yeah.
foods are a great option and they taste great. They're very satisfying. They're going to create satiety and they're going to support the gut.
And that's what I was going to say, even with the kefir, even before you're eating your meal, so you're not having to feel like you're loading yourself up on all the stuff, just so that you can be able to satisfy your body's need for the satiety. That right there will literally guarantee that you don't eat as much. Something else that you could do, if you're, regardless of what it is that you're making, but to use SCT oil, short chain triglyceride, with whatever it is that you're eating.
Absolutely.
Shameless plug right there.
Yeah, sugar
because
cravings terminated, right?
Sugar cravings are terminated. It's going to make you not want to go for the dessert, the pie, the whatever the sugary stuff is afterwards, simply because you're satisfied.
Yeah, another thing on that as well is, remember, if you're eating vegetable oil or industrial seed oils, things like canola oil or corn oil or soy oil, all these industrial seed oils, remember, they make you hungry. They stimulate the endogenous cannabinoid system in your body, much like smoking weed. So I hear that it gives you the munchies. Seed oil is designed to make you hungrier. So you will definitely overeat if you're eating processed food or you're actually eating anything with seed oil. Plus, another benefit to SCT oil, the short chain fats and these saturated fats that are stable under heat, light, and oxygen, what they do is they protect your liver from alcohol. So if you're going to enjoy any wine or spirits or any alcoholic beverages during the holidays, I know that I will in moderation, that will also protect your liver. In fact, they've even done studies showing that you can't even create liver cirrhosis if you have saturated fatty acids that you're eating. So you'd want to eat ruminant animals, eat steak, douse it in SCT oil, eat fermented foods, keep the alcohol in moderation, but it will protect your liver, unlike seed oil, which obviously breaks down the liver's ability to conjugate and get rid of these toxins, and then it just loads up into your tissue and hangs around for the next 3 years.
I've got a popular question that people tend to ask, because you were just, and it got me thinking about talking about the red meat, for example. Like, people would say, hey, you know what? It is Thanksgiving. We're going to eat turkey and we're going to stay away from the red, I'm going to stay away from the red meat. What would you say to, because that's something that people have been taught now, is that you shouldn't eat red meat. Stop, cut down on the amount of red meat that you're eating and start increasing the amount of vegetables that you're eating instead. What would you say to that?
Well, I would say is that we already have the research on that. Right now, we're eating less red meat than ever before. More people are eating more vegetables, cutting out like beef, specifically cutting down on beef and actually blaming cows for the reason why the whole planet's going up in smoke. I guess cow farts are the most dangerous thing we could deal with. But no, it's actually because we're doing that, we're looking at our metabolic health, and you see more people now with chronic illness. It's just a fact. You got more people that are overweight, clearly metabolically unhealthy. The stats say what 93.5% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy. We're now talking about diabetes, heart disease, stroke, autoimmune conditions. We're talking about Alzheimer's, cognitive decline. Remember, we are designed to eat meat because the most bioavailable nutrients are only going to be found in these type animals. And if animal fats made us all sick and killed us, then we'd all be dead because we're animals, and that's the main fats in our own body. So you want these healthy fats that are animal based. Coconut oil is a great non-animal based fat, but I'm gonna tell you, it just doesn't hold a candle to real animal based nutrition.
Yep, you got that right. Okay, so let's get back in the holidays. Okay, so what would be some signs? Okay, this doesn't matter if it's the holidays or not, but what would be some signs that people have an unhealthy or have poor gut health?
Yeah, the easiest one I think that everybody can identify with is what happens when you eat. Listen to how you feel. Think about, how do you feel when you eat a meal? Do you feel lethargic? Do you feel bloated? Do you feel gassy? Do you just feel really tired? Eating doesn't necessarily give you energy. Just look what happens to everybody after Thanksgiving. They're all asleep on the couch watching the Cowboys get blown out by 30 points again in the football game. So, and nobody's awake to see it. So, how do you feel when you eat? If you feel bloated or you feel gassy or your stomach hurts, that is a big sign. Because I know, and I believe we both do this. I eat until I'm full. So I'm going to continue to eat real food, and then my body will tell me stop eating. And then after that, you would look at my stomach and you would have no idea that I even ate. I can go for a 30, 40, 50-minute walk. I have no pain. I'm not tired. I'm not in any type of gassy situation where I feel bloated and you get that feeling where, oh my God, I better stay close to the toilet. If you have any of those issues, that is a huge, and it's the most common one. And people, Dr. Rob, they just kind of gloss over and think, well, that's just normal that I should have 6 bowel movements a day, or that I should feel bloated because I ate a lot of food. No, if you feel that way, you have poor gut health. I love it because I used to be that guy. I would crush. Remember those salads I used to make? A whole bin of spinach
Me
loaded up
too.
with nuts and seeds and all these tomatoes, and just load this thing up, this kale and all this superfood salad. And I would eat that thing doused in olive oil, and I would feel so sick and bloated. And I'm thinking, well, just got to power through it because this is healthy. You got to listen to your body.
That's exhausting. That is
Yes.
exhausting. I was thinking about, you were talking about digestion. Yeah, I remember I used to talk to my kids when they were young. I'm like, all right, you got 3 trains in, 3 trains out. Is the way that works.
Yeah.
Speaking of, and so here's another sign that you could have an unhealthy gut is skin problems. Okay.
Huge.
And I was thinking about that as I'm talking about my kids, because I was sitting on the couch with talking to my daughter this last weekend, and Isabella's so funny. She was like staring at my face, and I'm like, what are you doing? And so and she like put her hand on my face and she starts feeling my face, and she's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing for your skin? Your skin is like, it's so soft. There's not any blemishes in it. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I've been doing our gut health program, is what it is that I have been doing. She's
Right.
like, tell me more about your skin routine. So that's
Yeah.
hilarious that my 16-year-old daughter is asking me about my skin routine. But that's it, signs of an unhealthy gut, because now you have toxins that are rising through up to the surface. When your
Yep.
body can't digest things, it's going to go into your bloodstream. Your bloodstream, it's poisonous to you. So your body wants to get it out, so it's going to come out, and that's the way it can come out. It can come out as eczema, it could just skin blemishes, just all those different things like that. So that's an issue right there if you've got poor gut health, skin issues.
Yeah, and a lot of people, as we know, they've been just on rounds and rounds of antibiotics, or maybe they've even been through functional medicine protocols where they're on a parasite cleanse. Or, a lot of times, remember, the bacteria and the parasites are really a part of our microbiome. They're really there as a part of the healing process. Just killing bacteria or killing parasites still leaves the terrain that's in place that isn't healthy. You'll never build a healthy gut by destroying bacteria or trying to kill microorganisms that are really there just trying to help our bodies heal and do the job. I love that bacteria are actually a part of creating enzymes and helping us digest food and creating certain probiotics in our system that actually create a strong, healthy, robust microbiome Heck, that microbiome will even help us break down toxins that we maybe get exposed to. Things like even like heavy metals or some type of nanoplastics that maybe we're getting exposed to in our food or in our water. So that microbiome is a part of the defense mechanism on helping our bodies detox, handle stress, and it has a direct correlation with the brain. And
Yeah.
that's what people don't get either. If you got a poor gut health, excuse me, if you have poor gut health, that's going to affect your mental clarity. Uh, it's going to cause depression, anxiety. There's a whole host of mental problems you're going to end up with poor gut health.
Yeah, it's one of the most, that could be one of the most often overlooked things, especially at this time of year when right now there's more people that are depressed than any
Yes.
time of the year. So this right now is a time of the year that you do need to have a healthy gut. And for those of you guys who may be even wondering, hey, what do I do? I'll make sure in the show notes that we have the URL to our gut health program. That way you guys can take a look at it. You can be able to get it. It's at the price point is like literally, it's like we're giving it away. So we wanted to make sure that everybody could be able to
Yeah,
to
no
get it. And
brainer.
it does come with some product as well, being our Surge Minerals, which we'll talk more about probably on another show. But it's a heck. I don't know that I can keep you from talking about it actually.
Well, I mean, it's incredible. We'll maybe take it off podcast and talk to our group about it. But yeah, no, it's an incredible. We don't launch a lot of products because we don't take a lot of products,
True.
and taking a bunch of pills and products are very expensive and really not that effective. In fact, I was just talking to one of our good friends, and she had just gone to this doctor, had ran so many battery of tests, ended up spending around $15,000.
I know exactly what you're talking
You
about.
know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
crazy.
And she walks out of there and she takes like 30, 40 different pills a day, been doing this for months, and she's spending all this money. And it was mind blowing for her for us to take her through a protocol to basically simplify an approach that works more with your body versus trying to control the narrative. This has been our mantra for years as doctors, is like, listen, the greatest doctors inside of you, our goal is to create an environment where the body can heal and do what it's going to do. So a lot of times, really less is more. Do less things better. And our gut health program is specifically designed to be simple, but so powerful in how we can get a result where your body can transform, heal, repopulate, restore, revitalize, really get your body cranking in, because that definitely will play a role with your metabolism as well.
Great segue in. Okay, so when it comes to revitalizing and restoring, okay,
Yes.
let's talk about probiotics. Okay,
Ooh.
so should one take probiotics? Because I know a lot of people will be thinking, hey, you know what? I'm going to eat all this stuff on Thanksgiving. I'm going to eat all this bad stuff throughout the course of December.
Yeah.
Going to New Year's. Should I be taking a probiotic?
Yeah, I used to be the probiotic guy, and I would take that stuff. You know what? It just never really worked because the reality is a lot of these probiotics that are out there, they're not even making it past your gut, past the small intestine. They're not even populating into your colon. Really, your gut, your stomach, and your small intestine really should be more sterile. You want all of those probiotics to populate in the gut, which actually help feed the colonocytes, the short chain fats that are made that are going to give you the energy to your mitochondria. What happens, a lot of these probiotics end up creating like these monocultures in your gastrointestinal tract, which can really create some level of inflammation or dysbiosis in your body. So outside of maybe coming off a round of antibiotics, which would obviously, not wouldn't be approving of taking antibiotics, but that would be between you and your doctor. But if your doctor is always giving you drugs, you may need to find a new doctor. But outside of that, I don't know there's a lot of benefit to dosing a bunch of probiotic. Like we talked about earlier, you really don't build a healthy gut by swallowing pills. You really build a healthy gut by giving it the right nutrients to the environment, to the terrain, so the body can heal, adapt, and create the culture as it sees fit, versus us trying to manipulate the culture with pills, medications, or outside in type of strategies. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on probiotics? I'm not a big fan in most cases.
Same. Never noticed a difference, honestly. And in somebody who had actually suffered, and we talked about this in our gut health webinar, somebody who had suffered with gut issues literally my entire life. Yeah, it never did anything for me, and so that's just speaking from experience. So
Yeah, I'd rather
yeah,
eat raw aged cheese and get
totally.
my probiotics and prebiotics, which are the things that the body can take to ferment and make the probiotics in the culture,
Yep.
and then postbiotics by using things that help support the production of short chain fats, which is a part of our gut health program, but which is also why we directly dose you guys with SCT oil, so you can directly source your body butyrate, acetate, valerate, propionate, all these short chain fats that are naturally found in SCT oil to give your colon the energy that it needs to fire up those colonocytes and drive that mitochondria.
I was just thinking
What's
every time you say that and go through all of these short chain fats, I was thinking about that song from NXS that has
meditate, try not to hate, love your mate.
That one, exactly. I thought we were gonna break out the song. I love it.
Propionate, try not to hate.
We need to make a song.
Oh my God, that is really good.
Okay,
if you know that song from NXS, that is really funny. All right, we're gonna do the song.
We're gonna do the song.
Not today.
Right. So I
we
love
digress.
That. Okay. It happens all the time. All right, so let's talk about, the few minutes that we do have left. Let's talk about what about fiber? Okay.
Oh, this is a great topic.
Holiday meals. Should I eat more fiber? Because fiber is going to help me to poop better. What do you think about fiber?
If you you end up shooting all over yourself, right? If you should eat the fiber or not eat the fiber. That wasn't a very funny joke, but I thought it was, it sounded good before it actually came out of my mouth. And then when it landed, it kind of landed flat. But I digress again, fiber. So here's the thing on fiber is when you think about gut health, a lot of times that's what you think you need. You need this non-soluble fiber or soluble fiber or more fiber from plants. And the problem with getting fiber is most fiber that you're eating from the plant kingdom has a coating around it. This fiber is called cellulose. And cellulose is hard to break down. In fact, the human body doesn't even have the enzyme cellulase to even break this down. So what will happen is if you eat a lot of fibrous foods, they stay longer in your small intestine because the body has to keep it there longer to try to get through all the fiber to actually get to all the nutrients. So this is where the research has shown where if you eat an orange or you fresh squeeze orange juice, there isn't any difference in blood sugars that would increase. You actually get more absorbable nutrients by removing a lot of the pulp and the fiber. So I'm not saying you can't eat oranges and you only have to juice, but a lot of you're trying to eat foods with so much fiber, it's really hurting your small intestine and it's causing a lot of undigested food to end up in your colon. So a lot of undigested food in your colon that's called endotoxin. It is a systemic sepsis response where your entire body becomes inflamed. It can be very, very dangerous. So going back to eating foods that are more easily digestible, meat, ripe fruit, fruit juice, coconut water, raw honey, maple syrup, things that are easy to digest. Obviously, if you're going to eat plants, make sure you peel them, deseed them, pressure cook them, ferment them, sprout them. You just want to make sure foods are easily digestible. And I'm just not sure that this recommendation of getting 50 grams of fiber a day of non-digestible fiber, because you can't break it down. There's no nutrition in it. There's no nutrients, and it makes it harder to get the nutrients that are in the food. I just don't know if that's the best strategy. And I haven't seen that to be true clinically. And I haven't seen it now with, heck, how many thousands of patients have we worked with? One of the best things you can do is just to get them off a lot of the fibrous rich foods that they think are heart healthy.
Yeah, so there's people that even are having problems with, as far as with their bowel movements and things like that. One of the things that we see incredible results is people just adding SCT oil to their daily regimen, rather than adding a bunch of fiber, and so so that's one of the things that you could do if that's the reason why you're taking the fiber. So
most constipation is you don't have enough saturated fat and you're dehydrated. So get trace mineral salts in your system, drink more clean water, spring water, eat more healthy saturated fat. That's usually the reason. Or if you're the person that's going to the bathroom 5, 6, 7 times a day, that is not normal either. You ate twice. Why'd you crap 7 times? That is an irritated bowel, and that needs to be corrected. Probably a good candidate for the gut health program.
All right. So I got last question.
What you got?
Okay. Last question. This is going to be a loaded question. Okay. Can diet changes really impact gut health?
Is this a serious question?
It is a serious question.
Well,
people want to know.
I know. And
by changing my diet, could that help my gut? Because so many people are taught that, eventually everybody's going to have some type of bowel issue, whether it's irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, SIBO, all of these different problems like this. Can simply changing my diet help my gut?
Yeah, and I get the question. I was being a little facetious there, but yeah. And what's sad is, we think about a lot of the people that we worked with over the years who've come from the traditional medical system, and these are people who've had horrible bowel issues, even Crohn's, and gone to these endocrinologists and these very smart, quote smart doctors. I'm sure they're test smart, but they're trained by pharmaceutical companies, and these doctors really don't think what you eat has anything to do with your health. That goes along with cancer doctors, people who, cardiologists, endocrinologists. They really have moved away from anything that's proactive that you can do and blaming it on your genetics or, some bad poker hand that you got dealt that there's nothing you can do about. So what you eat does matter. Remember, your body, the two really main causes of disease is nutrient deficiencies and being poisoned with toxins, chemically, physical, and emotional stress. So the water you drink, the air that you breathe, the food that you eat, if you're nutrient deficient and you're being poisoned with toxins, not to mention all the medications they prescribe, all the vaccines they push on everybody, the chemicals they spray in our sky to manipulate the weather. I mean, we're exposed to chemicals and toxins. And so the things you can control, you want to control them. Any doctor that says what you eat doesn't matter in regards to your gut health and your overall health, this doctor is bought and paid for by the pharmaceutical industry. You need to find another doctor because that doctor is way out of touch with the reality. And the truth of the matter is, kind of are what you eat, right? When we eat, you want to be thinking about how do I give my body the most bioavailable, nutrient-dense, most absorbable nutrition so that doctor inside of me can take everything that I'm feeding it and make new cells and repair and detox and heal and do all the necessary enzymatic processes that it needs to do on a daily basis to function. That happens with the food that you eat. There's probably one of the most important things you could do is changing what you're putting in your pie hole.
Yeah, so yes, as the answer to that question, like one of the things that we always say is, for heaven's sake, stop counting calories and start counting nutrients.
Amen.
Get those nutrients in your body. Also, something else that affects, last but not least, something else that will affect your gut health is going to be what's going on in your mind. We talked in the gut health webinar, and if you haven't watched that, you definitely need to watch that. We'll do another one as well. And we'll post a link so that people can be able to get access to that as well. However, you have what's called the gut-brain axis. They're connected. And when you look at the anatomical diagrams, even of how the body is created, and you've got all the nerves going from your brain directly down to your stomach and then back up. That's why if you've ever said that, I've got this feeling in my gut.
Yeah.
Well, that feeling is neurologically, it's all connected inside there. So just having a really good stress relief type of a practice, whether it's getting your body your vitamin G, your gratitude every single day. If it's a meditation practice, we always recommend doing a brain tap. I'm addicted right now. There's a certain track on brain tap right now that I can't start my morning without every single day. And I've been doing this now, gosh, since we were in Tulum, Mexico, every single day. But it's one of those things that, it helps to be able to calm my mind. And I'm like, I don't feel right if I don't start with that. But doing that, and then in conjunction then with our gut health program, I tell you what, I have more energy, a better outlook on things, because as life, like everybody else knows, can get really chaotic.
Yeah.
It really helps to be able to calm things down in the midst of all of the chaos. And that right there has really been great for helping my gut to really be healing.
No, that's why like prayer and meditation help calm the vagal nerve. The vagal nerve is the nerve from the brain stem that connects directly to your gut. And vagus nerve means wondering. So it actually innervates every single organ in your body. So that gut is kind of like the gut's that hub that the brain goes to disperse nerve intervention to all the other organ systems. This is why the gut really is that second brain. But this is why practicing meditation, prayer, gratitude. One of the things that I do, and I'll usually do it if I'm feeling stressed during the middle of the day, especially if it's a beautiful sunny day. There's a very special moment I remember when I was in Italy last year, and I just remember feeling so peaceful while I was there. And so I wanted to recreate that moment. So I went to my favorite coffee shop like I would when I was in Italy. I got my doppio espresso, I put on my linen pants. It was a gorgeous sunny day. Got the sun on my face, cotton t-shirt, linen pants, my Italian shoes that I was wearing that day when I was in Italy, sitting outside, enjoying that coffee and just relaxing. And I was putting myself back like I was in Italy. And just for 15 minutes in the sun, drinking that espresso, remembering how I felt in that moment brought me back to that. And I can tell you, like, all that stress and anxiety just completely went away. So find your happy place, find that place, that moment, that experience that you've had. Try to recreate that if you can, and go back to how you felt when you were there. It's one of the practices that I do, and it works very, very beautifully.
Yeah, I love that. And remember, and I love, he was obviously very intentional with even wearing the linen pants. A lot of people don't even know that linen has a very healing frequency. So everything is energy, and just the vibrational frequency of that is very, very healing, very peaceful. And I was thinking something to remind everybody is that your body was created to be able to heal and to be well.
Yeah.
So some of you may be listening going, you know what? I don't know that my body, excuse me, I don't know that my body can heal through whatever it is that it's going through. And as we were talking about that gut-brain connection, I was remembering a patient that I had in my chiropractic office. Her name is Rachel. And so Rachel had a problem called gastroparesis, where her stomach just didn't work.
Yeah.
It wouldn't digest. And then the doctor told them that she had an issue with her vagus nerve.
Yeah.
And so because there was an issue with the vagus nerve, they clipped it.
Yep.
And so they cut it. So then the stomach is no longer working. They replaced it with a monkey stomach. And so she hadn't eaten food for like 10 years when they had come in to see me. And so I started adjusting her chiropractically, getting her nervous system working better. And I never forget the day that and this is a girl who's 18 years old. And so I'll never forget the day that I walked into the adjusting room, and she was in there with her mom, and she had this little box of like these puffs that you would give to a child, and these organic puffs, and she was eating those through her mouth. And her mom was like saying, you know what, this is the first time that Rachel's eaten food now in 10 years because her body is now digesting. And that's somebody who had the vagal nerve clipped.
That's unbelievable.
So because your body does have neuroplasticity, and God created our body to heal and to be well. So things that you think would not be possible are possible, because anything is possible with God when you're actually connected to that source.
Amen.
So the more that we can connect to source, especially at this time of year, the more likely your body is going to be able to heal. And you just have to believe in that healing power that God put inside your body.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to conclude this. We say this so many times, but God does not need help healing. He really does need no interference. And, doctors want to diagnose you with disease, which is incurable. Remember, dis-ease, the interference to ease in your body, is 100% curable for every single person. Don't ever forget that. Don't let a disease grip you, create fear, and make you think that you're not enough. You're more than enough. God does not make junk. You are formed in his image, fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't ever let anybody tell you any different. And we've seen it play out not only in our own lives, Dr. Rob, but in the lives of thousands and thousands of people we've had the privilege to work with. So thank you for sharing that story. That's super inspiring. It has me fired up, buddy.
Yeah,
I don't want to end now, but I guess we got to.
Awesome. Thank you so much for listening to the Happy Healthy Life podcast. Again, share this with people. There are people who need to hear this message. There are people who need that hope that their body can be able to heal. So share it, like it, comment on us, give us feedback, ask us questions at the H2 Life on Instagram. We're happy. We love the feedback.
Yeah.
We love the praise reports. We love to hear from you. And so thank you for being a part of this happy, healthy community.
God bless you guys.
Thanks for listening to the Happy Healthy Life podcast. If you enjoy the show, make sure to follow them on Instagram at the H2 Life, or on YouTube and Facebook at the Happy Healthy Guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review the show wherever you listen to podcasts.